Khemani, is he ready? There is some, he's been doing yoga. So Vikas Khemani, I have heard a new term called Lakshmi Asan. And you will be demonstrating Lakshmi Asan. Everybody in stock market believes in Lakshmi Asan. So tell us more about this.
I think you are good at that. You tell people how to sort of make money.
No. See, we are the ones who propagate risk management, but you are the practitioners. We are the messengers. That's the difference. So it's the practitioner who has to tell us the secret of Lakshmi Asan, not the messenger.
I think the only Lakshmi Asan which should stay invested into India, you will make a lot of money, lots of money.
Okay, you can see Vikas, you can see his lovely daughters, and you can see his wife, and that's yoga day. So Vikas, early in the morning, it's a daily ritual.
Yes, I think we do 3 days a week yoga exercise, and then 3 days meditation. So that's a usual.
And एक दिन छुट्टी, सातवें दिन, the week में 7 days.
Either running or something else, or lazy Sunday.
No, but Vikas, just drawing the connect, I'm sure the discipline that yoga brings about, some benefit to your style of investing as well, right? Ever since you've been practicing yoga, I'm sure things have changed in the way you have become as an investor as well.
Absolutely, there's no doubt on that. I think yoga and meditation go hand in hand, and if you can do a combination of that, it basically brings calmness in your mind, fitness in your body, alertness in your body, alertness in your mind. So it definitely sort of builds your very, very all-round perspective. So I feel everybody must do it. Also, it kind of leads you towards spirituality, and which if you see most of the investors, successful investors, they will tell you that a tinge of spirituality or insight into spirituality always takes your level to the next in anything, and especially in investing. So I think it's yoga, meditation, and spirituality all are interconnected. And if you follow regularly, I'm sure it will make an impact whether you are investing or doing anything else.
Okay, so Vikas, which is that stock that you would want to flag out, that you would have had more patience, you would have made more money? Any error, any mistake that you want to highlight?
No, I would stay away from commenting on stock specific thing, but I can only say that if many times market tests your patience, goes against your one of my largest sort of money maker after I bought became 1/3 from my cost price, and eventually ended up becoming 100 bagger. So, market test your patience on many counts. And if you are sort of self-assured about your own analysis, about your own work, you can stay put to, in those times. And probably, yoga and meditation helps you in those trying times to stay put and not get panicked and get carried away by that.
Yes, said then done. Easy to say to keep the patience. But the other thing that a lot of market participants fail to do is to stay away from FOMO, right? That the fear of missing out is quite large, and that's something which is visible right now in the market as well. What would be your advice around that?
Absolutely, and I would say that anything you act out of FOMO, you are bound to suffer. You are bound to lose. I remember having a conversation with Nikunj, in the middle of when we had all this new tech euphoria, and everybody was participating in that, and we all know that what has happened. So time and again, market oscillates between fear and greed. And so when it is when markets are fearful, nobody wants to buy. But as market turns around and things doing well, everybody feels FOMO, and people kind of jump on that, takes it to the other side. And the reality of the thing is that most of the novice investors, unqualified investor or uninformed investors end up riding into the late stage of the euphoria, and that's where they end up losing money. So it should never be people participate out of FOMO. Market gives enough time, enough opportunity to everybody, every investor, and there's a huge amount of money to be made through different sort of styles. So FOMO is one I always avoid investors, tell investors to avoid. We never bought any of the internet or new tech stocks throughout the whole euphoria. So same thing, eventually money making and retaining money are two different things, and one has to keep money also.
So Vikas bhai, we are 10 points away from all-time high on the Sensex, 15 points away from an all-time high on the Sensex. Which is one yoga asana which do you think will depict the real picture? I think in my book it will be Tadasana, right?
Absolutely.
That's the real stretch one, right?
Tadasana will be the best, and it will keep touching high and high. So, It's like this, if a kid does Tadasan, its height keeps on increasing, right? It helps in increasing height. So I guess our market's height will keep on increasing. We are still an adolescent. We have long become an adult and mature man. So I think Indian markets are in one of its best phase, and I see a great runway of creating wealth ahead of us over next 5 to 7 years, 10 years period. Next decade belongs to India.
Okay, Vikas, we got a very special message from your wife and daughter as well, who, as our viewers just saw, were actually practicing yoga along with Vikas this morning itself. Let's hear out what they have to say. I don't know whether it's on yoga or the markets, or maybe both. Let's listen in.
Wishing you a very, very happy International Yoga Day. In today's fast-paced age, especially being a woman is not an easy task, where you're constantly juggling between home, a family, your work, everything put together, aging parents. I think yoga has helped me a long, long way in managing and balancing things. It has brought about a lot more stamina, a lot more fitness, a lot more focus, and I enjoy doing everything I do. I strongly recommend that every woman, everybody for that matter, but especially women, should spend some time doing yoga every single day.
But during the holidays, I was forced into doing it. And
All right, guys, we have breaking news, and what a day to really make new highs. As tall as you can get. It's the ring of a new high for benchmark indices. Indian markets, after a gap of nearly 6 months, have hit a new high. Now, it's a formality whether the Sensex has hit a new high first or the Nifty has hit a new high first. But benchmark indices, look at that ring when you say that markets at an all-time high. Vikas Khemani, let's hear that ring from you. कुछ तो आज screen पे करना पड़ेगा भाई.
You don't have to do everything. Just stay. If you're invested, just enjoy it. Yeah. I mean, I think India it's just a reflection of one more milestone, according to me. I mean, I really don't get excited with, it every day, but it's a great news in that sense. It's more vindication, but in my opinion, a lot more to come. Lot more to come.
A new high, yes, on the paper, but is this as good as it gets? No. But when a new high is hit, what do? We always celebrate. And how do we celebrate? Well, there you go. That's the gong. Ladies and gentlemen, the boys and the girls are ready. Let's celebrate the new high on the Nifty and the Sensex. There you go. It's Sensex first, and that's what we always mark. It's a day to remember. Why it's a day to remember? Because it's happened after 6 months. While we look back and say, okay, 21st of June, we made a new high, but that's not the peak. This is certainly not the peak. But the fact that you hit a new high after almost 6 months, it just makes 21st of June rather very special. Happening on a yoga day.
It's not yoga, I must say that, Vikas. It's actually Lady Luck. When we had your wife and daughter on air, that's when we made it to the all-time high on the Sensex.
That's why I said no. Tell him. I mean, you should have
Lakshmi
Asan. No, because think about it, right? Just think about it. Everybody in stock market, they should now innovate something as Lakshmi Asan. And in that, I'm sure you will not do that Sunday break also. This Asan, you'll be happy to do 7 days in a week, right?
Absolutely.
But because why should one not be tempted to log gains? I mean, it's been a good run up. 10% on the Sensex, 15% on the Nifty, 25 to 30% in average mid cap stock. I mean, it's logical to book some profits and take some chips off the table.
Again, if you take chips off the table, what will you do with it, right? Ultimately, unless you need something, when you will invest somewhere else, right? So, taking chips off the table for the sake of it is not a great idea, unless you think that markets are not going to do well. It's going to correct, which at least I don't think so. Like I said, that according to me, even in a short term to medium term, I see a great run coming ahead of us, led by liquidity. Of course, corporate earnings cycle is good, but I think we will see a massive flows coming from FIIs. They last 2 years, they sold almost close to $45 billion. As the interest rates are peaked out, emerging markets begins to get that flow, and India will receive a disproportionately large amount of that flow this time. And as that money comes in, everything remains same, markets will do well. So I do not see a situation where markets are going to correct in a meaningful manner, unless some unpredictable situation happens which nobody can make out and which will always be around the corner. So, I mean, taking money off the table for the sake of it is not a great idea. Remaining invested in markets at this point in time, in my opinion, is one of the best advice one can give.
All right, Vikas Khemani, appreciate your time. Happy Yoga Day once again, and thank you for joining us. And it was lovely to have your family, join us and finding time to, to demonstrate and do some yoga asanas. So thank you very much for that.